This collection of documents, which pertains to the 1968 Democratic National Convention and to the events around it, is presented in the hope of illuminating some of the social processes that carry the meaning of such phenomena.
Where were you in Chicago? You know I didn't see you there. I didn't see them break your head or breathe the tear gas air. Oh, where were you in Chicago when the fight was being fought? Oh, where were you in Chicago? 'Cause I was in Detroit.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
I don't think that with the frivolity of the occasion we should forget the solemnity that this is Lyndon Johnson's birthday. I would like to tell you a little story, which is a true story. This particular reporter had an interview with Lyndon Johnson a couple of years ago. Mr. Johnson, we haven't talked about Vietnam. You know, don't you have any feelings about that? And what Johnson said was a barometer of the megalomania of our president. He said, well, son, I'll tell you, the commies are saying, fuck you, Lyndon Johnson, and nobody says, fuck you, Lyndon Johnson, that gets away with it. Well, I think tonight, as his birthday present, when I count 3, we're all going to say it, and get away with it.
Happy birthday, dear Lyndon.
1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Okay.
The land around us will be in bloom, with song and laughter and elbow room. A town will blossom here with all serene. Houses white and with gardens green, the lanes are shady, the streets are wide. When you
Why are the flags of anarchism being hoisted by the leaders of the next generation?
I think American culture is sterile, boring, evil, corrupt, and old. The central government has a tremendous amount of power in this country, and it's very bureaucratic, and it's as much the bureaucracy of this country and the sterility of this country as much as its evilness, especially in terms of the war in Vietnam and the way it treats poor people and black people, that brings us to this part.
Let's start at the beginning. What group are you?
We're the Yippies.
What are they?
Beggars of Paris town, you lousy rabble of low degree.
You rabble of low degree.
We'll spare King Louis to keep his crown and save our city from Burgundy.
Our city from Burgundy.
You and I are good for nothing but to die. We can die for liberty. Of toil and danger, will you serve a stranger and bow down to Burgundy? Sons of shame and sorrow, will you cheer tomorrow for the crown of Burgundy? Onward, onward, swords against the foe. Forward, forward, the lily banners go. Sons of France around us, break the chain that bound us, and to hell with Burgundy. Onward, onward, swords against the foe. Forward, forward, the lily banners go. Sons of France around us, break the chain that bound us, and to hell with Burgundy.
A qualitatively new situation emerges when man is faced with a transformation from a repressive class society based on material scarcity into a liberatory classless society based on material abundance. From the decomposing traditional class structure, a new human type is created in ever-increasing numbers, the revolutionary. This revolutionary begins to challenge not only the economic and political premises of hierarchical society, but hierarchy as such. He raises not only the need for social revolution, but tries to live in a revolutionary manner. He attacks not only the forms created by the legacy of domination, but improvises new forms of liberation, which take their poetry from the future.
The Yippies are not really a group, it's a movement, it's a slogan. There are no Yippies. That's the whole thing,
Right,
with
you
the
broke it
slogan,
up.
there was an exclamation point, see? And we kept telling, like, what are you doing? There are no Yippies. It's a slogan, you know, yippee, right?
Right.
We have been told that the revolts are against the system and that the establishment must be torn down. But my fellow Americans, in Paris recently, students cut down 100-year-old trees to erect temporary street barricades. Those trees had lived through 2 world wars. Some of them had even survived the revolution of 1848. Were the goals of these students served by the destruction of those trees? How long will it take for their beauty and the vitality they symbolize to grow again? What trees did the students plant in their place?
New forms, not engineered into existence from above, but developed organically from below. They are social movements, not political parties. Social movements combining a creative revolutionary lifestyle with a creative revolutionary theory, not political parties whose mode of life is indistinguishable from the surrounding bourgeois environment and whose ideology is reduced to rigid, tried and tested programs. They try to reflect as much as is humanly possible the liberated society they seek to achieve, not slavishly duplicate the prevailing system of hierarchy, class, and authority. They are built around intimate groups of brothers and sisters, affinity groups, whose ability to act in common is based on initiative, on convictions freely arrived at, and on a deep personal involvement.
You asked me a question in terms of goals, and I could say personally, but there would be 100,000 people here, and everyone has a different goal. Essentially, I think what I would like to see is the development of an alternative society. No, we're trying to turn them on, actually. I mean, I really hope Mayor Daley will come out in the park and, be with us, share our food. I mean, you see, that's the aim. The draw is, the concept of free stores. We'll have a free store right over there, give away all kinds of things. We don't sell anything. We give away our buttons, our posters, our energy. Probably over $5,000, plus draft cards and underwear and all other kinds of things that remind us of middle-class American life.
When we came to Chicago to express our counter lifestyle,
there'll be 100,000 people in this park. There'll be bikers over there. There'll be speed freaks over there. There'll be flower children there. There'll be veterans over there, women over there, blacks over there.
We'll put the post office here and the high school there. And if we fail to put up a jail, we hope you don't mind. Round here we'll have no galoot who totes a sixer to shoot. For in our plan, each citizen will be the respectable kind. A railroad station here, Opera House will be there. We'll do our best, the uncivilized West, to conquer and tame. We'll settle for not less than a town that's pure and spotless, or mud will be our name. On land we found us, one thing I know, the land around us will grow and grow.
We'll develop a community. It's the thing that's totally lacking in American society as we view it. Well, I'm here because I believe in the concept of alternative society. And I think that our task is to to build a new society based on new premises. You see, when you have an alternative society, you organize people, or you bring people together around the kinds of things they want to do. You never say no, you know? And it's difficult. I mean, some people want to go this way, some people want to go this way, and they say that those people are interfering with their thing, but somehow it works out. I mean, everybody is allowed to do their thing. When you're involved in the movement, you see, you don't have that concept of success and failure that you do if you're involved in a business. I mean, this is called the festival of life, and life just is. It's not based on success and failure. You do what you can, and the way it comes out, that's groovy. That's the kind of society we envision, where people share things, and where you don't need money, where you have the machines do the work for the people. A free society, that's really what it amounts to. A free society built on life. Life is not some Time magazine hippie version of fagdom. We'll attempt to build that society. There'll be people of all different shapes and sizes coming together, 100,000 we hope, and sharing their food, sharing their life experience, and exchanging ideas and exchanging energy. And the only way in our culture is based on trust. It's based on trust. But I mean, I can go out in second half and eat my whole breakfast. Walking down the street, somebody comes up and says, "Here, have a bite of this, man. Have a bite of this. Have a bite of that." And I'll try it, you see. I'll try it. I'm not afraid of them. I'm not afraid. I mean, they'll offer me a thing, I'm going to try it. Somebody offers me to put something in my mouth, says, "You're going to really groove on this 10-hour trip." I'll take it. I'll take it. Absolutely. Try it. Try anything.
Be good. Share everything. No, not even. What I have to say wouldn't surprise an old lady in Minnesota who's we're all hippies, really.
Nor certitude, nor peace
nor help for pain. And we are here as on the darkling plain, where ignorant armies clash by night. Let us be true to one another. Let us be true to one another. Let us be true. Let us be true. Let us be true to one another.
Stephen and Rita care enough about us to want us to come together publicly to celebrate with them what they have felt privately, and which we have celebrated with them in our own way, privately. It is important that we who are so honored try and respond to this in some kind of meaningful way, and by our presence affirm what Stephen and Rita are saying to each other and saying to all of us. They are trying to say that somehow, in the midst of chaos, they see a major hope for stability in their own selves.
So we're prepared to enter mystery, to enter chaos. What we're all about is chaos. It's undefinable, you know. Here I am a soldier, and there I am a, flower. It's undefinable. It's chaos. That's the way the world is, and we relate to it that way.
Marriage, even when it does not occur before an audience, is intrinsically a public event, because its structural center is the covenant, and the covenant is more fully instrumental to the creation of public space than any interactional form commonly practiced. For many, living in dark times, deprived of any authentic public life, possessing only the right to exercise the quasi-powers of voting or political careerism, the private covenant comes nearest authentic political action, the action that creates the ephemeral space in which free men find their voices and the means to act.
But those who create space for themselves also demonstrate a disturbing tendency to structure it internally and to establish boundaries more or less concrete. Manfred Halpern describes 8 basic forms of encounter between self and other that make it possible for men to deal simultaneously with continuity and change, collaboration and conflict, and with the problem of justice. Each form of encounter is termed a polarity. The dominant polarity of contemporary American society, Halpern calls boundary management. Boundary management is a form of encounter in which the occupant of each pole claims an autonomous zone of jurisdiction. Change in the other is then effected indirectly through conflict intended to shift the boundary of jurisdiction between the two poles.
It is not always easy to say what constitutes a boundary. Those who came to Chicago in August of 1968 encountered visible boundaries, the manifest circles of self, of group, of class, of organization or nation, the signs and the flags and the fences, the lines and columns of soldiers and bayonets, of clubs and police, the files of their own marshals and monitors, and the young mounted frontal assaults.
we're concerned about violence, but our concern is about the violence of police officers. And what we're doing is to protect and defend our own people. In no way will this police state that is being created by the mayor of the city intimidate our efforts to bring tens of thousands of people to this city during the convention week.
Are you able to talk at all specifically about what preparations you are making to defend your people?
Well, predominantly we are training hundreds and hundreds of marshals in ways in which they can protect themselves and large numbers of people, pigs from mad.
In the first place, we're not a commando group.
Yeah, but you got to have something, man.
We have a basic implement which
We're not going out to
use,
like.
which we will use against whatever weaponry we might confront. I suggest that everybody get themselves a magazine, a copy of Ramparts. I carry an excellent pacifist magazine called Liberation. Carry this with you, loosely rolled. It's a very gentle thing, and in a certain situation, you can wrap it tightly and use it very efficiently against, say, a club or even a knife thrust.
Face one another, very slowly, very slowly. One person, start using these techniques with one another. We are going to do all we can to assure against violence. Therefore, we must have as our basic sense of who we got to protect ourselves against and who we got to protect the demonstrators against. We got to realize that most of the violence is likely to come from the cops, and we got to prepare to defend ourselves against their violence. That means defend ourselves against clubs. One thing we're going to try to have by the time the week is over is a good basic kick. Now, a lot of people who will be confronting violent folk in violent situations will discover that you have two advantages going for you. One, most people, when they're attacking you, are into a violent state of mind, which means they're tense. And you should try your best to be relaxed because it will make you faster and more efficient. Two, a lot of folks are thinking only in this area here. And we're going to be doing a lot of our thinking down here. So, we're going to be thinking of kicking in two places. One, the knee, and one, the groin. To the groin. The knee and the groin. Now this is a kick that's common to just about all the martial arts. Just very basic technique. Of course, we're going to do some limbering up exercises, which I suggest you do before any time before you work out. First exercise. So, twice, three seconds. 1,
And we came to Chicago to express our counter lifestyle.
The spirit of love will manifest the truth, and the man will have no power over love if he comes and it encircles him, because he won't have the heart to. He'll be speaking the same way we are, in the same language, the language of the heart. This is how he lives. All men live this way. If we can manifest the spirit of love so greatly that no man will have the heart to hurt us, this is the way that we will overcome all evil. We will not overcome all evil by confronting them with their mind, their mentality. We will come to them by reaching them in the deeper levels of consciousness and the consciousness of truth that dwells within all hearts meant.
Police officers who decide that the way to deal with people who are against the war is to mace and club and beat them bloodily to the ground and then arrest tens of thousands.
Nowhere is this clearer than in the situation of our young people today. The success of our economic system has freed them in ever-increasing numbers from the tragedies of premature mortality and early labor. It has built the schools in which they are being educated to higher levels than ever in our nation's history. And this progress has been achieved in a political system that not only admits but safeguards the right of dissent. So it should hardly surprise us when the children of such progress demand to be heard when they become aware of inequity still to be corrected. Neither should we fear their voices. On the contrary, whether we know it or not, the marching feet of youth have led us into a new era of politics, and we can never turn back.
There's a minority among us represented over in Grant Park, and let me say that the police department, Mayor Daley, must all be related to Job. They've shown that much patience. A minority of a minority who would substitute anarchism for ambition. They'd like to substitute beards for brains, license for liberty, they want pot instead of patriotism. They like sideburns instead of solutions. Slogans instead of social reforms, and they would substitute riots for reason. There, girl, open them up. Right. Open them up. Okay. There, girl. Yeah.
It's the law that busted Hayden, and it's the law that's killing people in Vietnam and killing people in the ghetto, and they're telling us to obey the law. We're obeying the law now. People don't defy the law. People protest against the law. You know, what the fuck are they doing here? Oh, if you accept all the premises that the police put up, then, you know, they're going to push us further and further into the sidewalk. The same thing that says, and then they'll say, well, just walk in here and take a shower like they did in Germany. You know, if you obey the police, man, you know, you're going to lose.
Young men and young women and old men and young women, this is Chicago, this is America. Be enthusiastic.
Not all boundaries are manifested as barriers. Some subtler types we call reality sleeves, after Irving Goffman.
In 1787, Catherine the Great, Empress of Russia, went on a tour of inspection of her southern provinces. For her visit, the regional governor, Field Marshal Prince Grigory Potemkin, constructed attractive and tidy false front villages along the roads the Empress was to travel. Potemkin specifically instructed the coachman of her carriage to drive quickly so that she might not see through the sham. Beguiled by illusion, Catherine completed her journey, content that her subjects were prosperous and secure.
This is the street on which Mayor Daley lives. It is a reality sleeve.
Reality sleeves are perceptual boundaries.
This is 1 block from an authorized route to the Democratic National Convention. This is the authorized route. It is a reality sleeve. Most reality sleeves are less obvious, but are equally insubstantial. As every psychotic and comic ought to know, any accurately improper move can poke through the thin sleeve of immediate reality. All require regular maintenance. Some collapse because there proves to be no appropriate reality to fill them. All can be punctured with only a good sense of situation and timing. At night, for example, everyone thought these men were the police. Light revealed that some of them wore no badges, and they were prepared to use force to restore the sleeve of darkness in which violence speaks for itself. As the bandit said to Humphrey Bogart,
"We don't need no stinking badges."
And then this gets you inside.
It gets you inside, Gary. In other words,
and please don't lose it. It's worth its weight in gold.
Badges and passes are not only a way through perimeters, they offer a warrant of identity, and thus are valuable. Badges tell who or what one is, or where he has been, or what he has done, or sometimes what he intends to do. Sometimes they are accepted as bona fide warrants. Sometimes they are not. Then force or will determine the issue.
These people are urban guerrillas. Their badges and uniforms confuse rather than clarify their identities. Anyone who de-asserts himself in such a manner makes a mockery of the cloistered identities substantiated by shady and inauthentic conventions, and thus of the very notion of badges. Here, the guerrilla sailor, wearing a uniform, is challenged by a real sailor who is without a uniform. Whose identity is certain here? Only the uniformed policeman can settle the issue. In light of day, his warrant is reachable. But then, these men too claim to be policemen.
Have more.
The human population is too large. Our interdependence is too complex. The thin sleeve of familiar order can no longer contain the chaos of potentiality which bubbles just beneath the surface. It is punctured by the undercover agent and by the yippie, the uncover agent. Connections are dissolving. We experience grave threat to man's survival. We experience new freedom to fashion a better world. We experience incoherence. Shared meaning is hard to find. But we can go beyond incoherence. We can achieve transformation. New forms of consciousness. New forms of justice. Transformation. Through incoherence to new order.
You don't make revolution by standing on the sidewalk.
When people like a cross, it's like a kind of backer with kind of a picture like. Come here, you see like the cross speaking, cross talk, peace talking, convincing. Too many people come here, everybody like a cross, everybody like bad kind of picture. This, we never forget it. People never forget it. It's everybody like, everybody picture, too many picture, bad kind of picture, too many people picture this. That's all.
I mean, you're not trying to promote any particular idea or movement or cause. I mean, are you trying to convince people of anything in particular?
Yes.
What?
Yes, downtown. Sometimes downtown go, sometimes here. Sometimes convincing people like this.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Susie?
Yes.
Susie Cream Cheese?
Yes.
This is the voice of your conscience, baby. I just want to check one thing out with you. You don't mind, do you?
What?
Susie Cream Cheese, honey, what's got into you?
America's wonderful. Wonderful, 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 wonderful. It really makes it.
Order can, and if allowed will, emerge naturally, organically, from people acting together. Natural emergence, organic development. Industrial society, however, which is characterized firmly by the dominant polarity of boundary management, cannot tolerate the relative chaos that appears to be a major feature of periods of organic development. The boundaries must be maintained. This is the meaning of law and order. Persons acting together to restructure, to reorder their collective social space, to make justice possible in a changing environment, are experienced by those who hold advantage under the old order to be threatening not only the old order, but all order. Such change agents are thus repressed in the interest of maintaining old boundaries, in the interest of maintaining hierarchy. The convention hall sequence you are about to observe shows the gratuitousness of attempts to maintain conventional hierarchical boundaries in the face of spontaneous restructuring of a situation.
Parts of this nation, to those he touched and who sought to touch him. Some men see things as they are and say why. I dream things that never were and say why not.
The only compassionate occasion at this convention. Now, some people are coming out of their trance, and there's a little more movement. In a moment, I suspect there'll be other sounds. Cheers. There they begin. And
before I make this announcement,
clapping in rhythm drowns out the announcement.
Before making this announcement, I have another tribute that I would like to pay.
Now, spontaneously,
I think we all realize the feeling, but the convention must go on.
The battle hymn of the Republic is welling up from the floor. No one leading it.
The convention must come to order. The sergeant at arms will enforce order in the convention. Will the sergeant at arms perform his duty of enforcing order?
A kind of a compassionate rebellion against the chairman this time.
Will the chairman of the various delegations please bring their delegations to order?
Mayor Daley, who it's forgotten was a great fan and friend of the Kennedys, rushing up to the podium. Carl Albert, trying less.
Will the sergeant at arms please clear the aisle?
Trying with less and less effect to bring an end to this orderly demonstration.
Will delegates, out of respect for the great American whose memory we are commemorating, now be seated.
This film was supposed originally to be shown towards the end of tonight's session. There was a last-minute change, and it was made one of the first things, one of the early events.
Will chairman of the delegation accept their responsibility of getting order? Will the chairman of the delegation that are not in order accept the responsibility of getting order? Will the sergeant at arms,
like King Canute,
will the sergeant at arms seat those
he
delegates
tells the
who are
waves
not
to go
seated?
back, and they don't go back.
Recognizing that what we are doing now and sharing now is saying, if the convention will not hear the plea of young people for a real democracy, for a real end to inequity in our country, and for a real end to this Vietnam War, we will say it now. This is another type of convention.
Tell me, does a convention like this have anything to do with political power or liberation?
Well, this is part of refining the mechanism. Material is an essential part of it because there are very few other ways of getting your thing together. And you'll find that all parties have a need to come together and to meet and deliberate. And this cuts across the board from revolutionary parties to reactionary parties. They do have to get together and formulate their policies, take their positions, and pick their candidates and representatives and spokesmen. So there's nothing unique about this. It's following classical lines of political organization.
This is a way of saying, do not forsake these people. Do not forsake these ideas. It is a peaceful way of saying it. It is a way of sharing a commitment and a belief in the United States that we can be a true, just, and moral country.
What does it all mean?
Because, my fellow Americans, something new, something different has happened. There is an end of an era, and there is the beginning of a new day.
Come on, take a walk with me through this green and growing land. Walk through the meadows and mountains and the sand. Walk through the valleys and the rivers and the plains. Walk through the sun and walk through the rain. Here's a land full of power and glory, beauty that words cannot recall. Her power shall rest on the strength of her freedom, that her glory shall rest on us all. From Colorado, Kansas, and the Carolinas to Virginia and Alaska, from the old and to the new, Texas and Ohio and the California shore. Tell me who can ask for more, for here is a land full of power and glory, beauty that words cannot recall. Oh, her power shall rest on the strength of her freedom, and her glory shall rest on us all. Yet she's only as rich as the poorest of the poor, only as free as a half-locked prison door, only as strong as our love for this land, only as small as we stand. For here is a land full of power and glory, beauty that words cannot recall. Oh, her power shall rest on the strength of her freedom, that her glory shall rest on